Lewis Silkin is a full-service law firm providing advice in fields from sports law to whistleblowers at work.
Here at Lewis Silkin, you'll find specialist lawyers across all the main practice areas, but essentially we're grouped around three big themes. The first is the work we do with the creative industries, for example, advertising, television, radio, computer games, and similar industries. We help those businesses establish themselves, buy and sell companies, engage in joint ventures, protect their intellectual property, and so on. The second main theme is domestic and international employment law, helping major employers with all the issues they have around their human capital. And the third main area is working with clients on major property and regeneration projects, shaping and changing the use of land within the UK.
Product placement, share placement, town planning to urban regeneration. Lewis Silkin are based on Chancery Lane in the heart of London.
The difference that Lewis Silkin can offer to people is really based around two key things. Firstly, it's business focus, and secondly, it's culture. The difference with our business focus is the collection of three principal areas. Firstly, around the creative industries, secondly, around employment law, and thirdly, around property and regeneration. In terms of culture, what we seek to offer is a very open environment, one where people collaborate on stuff, one where there is a very good communication, both from the top down and in the collection of ideas from people across the business. It's the combination of those focus on particular business areas and culture that we believe provides people with a unique experience of working here.
With strength in depth across all the major legal service areas, and quite a few of the less major too, Lewis Silkin has a clear vision of the rapidly changing world and their place in it.
Over the last 15 years, Lewis Silkin has developed very considerably as an organisation, in common with a lot of other practices within the market. One of the ways in which we principally developed is the increasing specialisation in certain practice areas. Another way in which we've developed is the bringing in of particular talent, new people to help us lead and develop those practice areas. We're also now moving into a phase where we're becoming increasingly sophisticated in the way we manage and operate the business.
Understanding that business revolves around relationships more than numbers is key to the success of many businesses, and Lewis Silkin.
It's a challenge for all firms to counter the legal stereotypes that we've seen across the profession. One of the big themes going through the legal profession in the last few years is one of diversity. It's something that we pay quite close attention to, not just in terms of monitoring our statistics for diversity within the business and checking those from time to time against the wider profession, but also in terms of an enlightened approach to such things as flexible working, equal opportunities, and similar HR practices. It's important for us as leading advisors on employment law to be at the forefront of the thinking in those areas, and of course what goes with that is an obligation to practice what we preach.
The broad and numerous skill sets at Lewis Silkin allows trainees to experience many aspects of law before specialising in an area where they can best contribute their skills.
At Lewis Silkin, we see it as important to give people who join us a broad training across the areas that we practice in. We think there's a risk in pigeonholing people too early into being particular types of lawyer and only giving them exposure to those areas. So trainee solicitors within our business will typically have four seats of 6 months each of which will be in a different practice area. Through that pattern and through the broadly based training programme that we offer alongside day-to-day work, we try to create lawyers who are more flexible and broader in their thinking on qualification. We think this helps them, we think it helps the firm, and we also think it helps clients because it allows people to bring a broader perspective to the kind of commercial problems they'll go on to deal with as associates following qualification.
My name's Cliff Fluey. I'm a partner in the Media, Brands and Technology department of the firm, and I also wear another hat at the firm. I'm also the firm's training principal or training partner, in charge of both the recruitment, retention and development of all the trainees at the firm. In the area of media, brands and technology, we tend to find that most applicants have got a desperate, burning desire for the area and the sector. The real thing that we're looking for is demonstrable interest. We think it's very easy for people to be interested in the area of media, but they need to demonstrate that. The trick is, how do you demonstrate that to any law firm you apply to? The ways that we look for are examples of work experience, significant research, a real engagement in the key issues of the day. That's how we look for demonstrable interest.
My name's Aston Benjamin Taylor. I'm a second year trainee at Lewis Silkin, currently doing my third seat in Media, Brands and Technology. When I first applied to be a lawyer, my reasoning was quite cliched in the fact that it was a stable job and there were lots of transferable skills that I could perhaps take across into another profession. But after doing the job for a year, for me it's all about communicating with clients. I think communicating to them legal advice and legal concepts is perhaps what I get most out of the job.
For people who are seeking a career in law, I'd advise them to make sure that they pick their firm very carefully, to make sure that they're not just accepting the first training contract that comes along, that they've really thought about what they want from their career and what's suitable for them.
To be honest, there's no better firm to be going into than Lewis Silkin, because it's just full of approachable people. I don't feel bad about going to even partners and heads of department for advice. And they're very keen to have you set up and go into the work straight away, getting on with important work.
Lewis Silkin only employ the best, but the best get the best back through sponsored traineeships and world-class training.
During their training contract, trainees can expect to experience a lot of different work. They can take on as much responsibility as they wish to by asking for more work. They'll get to meet people across the firm and see very experienced lawyers and how they operate, and to really soak that up. And really good training.
The future aspirations of Lewis Silkin, I think, really come under three headings. The first of those is very much to move with the times and to react to the opportunities that the changing market is creating. There are three big drivers for changes in the market. One of those is technology, another is the changing face of the world through globalization, and the third, most recently, is the changes that we'll now see to our market as a result of deregulation of the legal industry. We think each of those things creates considerable opportunities, as well, of course, as some threats for our practice as well as others. The second major thing in terms of the future direction of the organisation is not so much change, but constancy, and constancy of the things that we value in particular. Those are things about our culture, such as the openness, the rather more humanness that we value about the firm. The third major theme in terms of the future direction is to increase the recognition of the practice as the specialists in a number of legal areas, as a business which really creates value for its clients through its legal services, and also, crucially, as an excellent place to work within the legal environment, particularly for those in the early stages of a legal career.